Hi, I'm Diggin, and this is the vibe. And I hope that people can hear me. I'm gonna get a mic. I thought to myself, I should have grabbed it last season, last Christmas, but I never did. But I shall. I shall do that. In fact, I was looking this evening, and so I apologize, I guess. Not sure. Is that what I should say? My bad. That might be something else I could say. My bad. Anyway, I had quite the evening, and that is with all the information that I gathered, and I just kept thinking. Um, uh, well, to be really honest, I was thinking, hey, 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 it's Fat Albert. I was thinking that. I don't know. I was. And the other, we could be living in stranger times, truthfully. Truthfully. You know, you could feel it. You could feel it all around you. And unless you are directly connected with nature of some sort, I'm going to say, hey, look, really take the time to meditate and create the vision of you being in the wilderness and interacting with all the vegetation around you. And believe you me, that would be really good for the soul, and it really is good for the soul, especially if you live in a concrete city. Concrete cities will do it for you, you know, and the poor little trees that they plant with all this shade that they're overwhelmed with shade, and they grow to be really skinny and not very tall. That's like torturing a tree, but they need to keep some greenery because they fill the rest of it up with concrete. All to make the money. All to make the money, honey. Okay, so what I came across, and I wanted to just scold myself because I got distracted over something that was important, and I never did write down the YouTube channel I heard it from. But there was this doctor, and this doctor um, um, was looking at Hillary and said that it's not Kuru that she would be suffering from, but rather Parkinson's disease. Yep, Parkinson's disease, advanced Parkinson's disease. And where she's wobbling her head, that would be a reaction to the medication that you take for the Parkinson's disease. Because what happens is she would freeze, and there would be an inability to talk, to have herself mobile, because she would have no equilibrium, I'm assuming. He did say, looking at her glasses, you could tell that when she had fallen, because she had, that the blow to her head was more severe than was let on to the public. And that being, this is why she needed the glasses until she stopped seeing two of everything. That's how hard she hit her head. And what was the other oh, I don't know, when it comes to me, um, I'll share that. But and then also um, with that, they had bits and pieces of people in who grew to have kuru, and that is just so painful to look at. It's really painful to look at. And breaking down her symptoms, you could see genuinely that, okay, wait a second, Parkinson's disease. You know, because if this is associated with it, and the gentleman is always saying, do your homework, check it out. He's a doctor. Do your homework, check it out. And he's saying he doesn't treat her, so he's not calling a shot. This is his analysis. And when I heard his analysis, I thought to myself, well, that's right, Doc. I'll be darned. That's right. And that makes more sense. Now, some of you might say, well, hey, this, and you know what she prefers as a beverage, and what she prefers as edibles. I can't even go there. I really can't. So there's that bit of news, and that is just upsetting enough. That's just completely upsetting enough. And one thing is reassured that everything is moving forward full steam ahead. Yeah, full steam ahead. Then I also heard that President Trump would like, as well as other world leaders, would like for everybody to invest in Syria and help build Syria back up. So the people of the Syrian nation can go back home, because that's the end of their war. And that in itself is jaw dropping. It just makes your heart swell. And to think how many Syrians are going to go, is this a joke? Are you trying to get us all back to our land and then blow everybody, in one big bang? I mean, these poor people, I'm pretty sure that I know I would be traumatized. I know I would question. I definitely would, having to go through that. I mean, that was such a beautiful city. And it is a beautiful thing that, if it is solemnly for the Syrian people, I think it's such a beautiful thing. And that's to want to help genuinely rebuild Syria, and allowing the Syrian people to go home and to build their country and to build economics so they can join the world of plenty rather than the world of starvation and war and disease and sickness and slavery. And we can go on and on and on and on and on. Now, for this, unconditionally, I applaud. I really applaud it. Let's just hope that in them doing so, that they're going to continue to govern because what they're doing right now, these world leaders, uh, peace. There's peace here. There's peace there. There's peace over here. Now Syria, peace. And we have to remember, Scripture says, when they are declaring peace and what do you think? That's when you hear their mind's second word, peace, just peace alone. And this is what? Now, for whatever reason, when I was looking, I instantly thought 7 countries. Are these uh, there's 10 in total that need to be crowned, correct? So peace and harmony, peace and love, peace and everything. That's what's happening now. If you stop and you take a look, a really good look, that is what's happening. And like I said, for that I applaud them. But when it comes to world economics and what's really happening in China, I am going to say that good for Trump. He really plays hardball. And with doing so, he gets the respect that people refuse to give to him naturally. We should respect one another. Right off the hop. Good handshake. You could tell a lot. You could tell a lot regarding anyone's character pertaining to a handshake. Whether they're solid, whether they're kind of limp moving in, and I hate weak handshakes. Weak handshakes, they just show me something that with it I with inside of myself strive not to be, and that's weak in friendship or weak in character. Yeah. So them wanting to put money in Syria, I think it's a really awesome thing. This thing with this reporter, a columnist, I believe he worked in New York. Over in Saudi, went to the consulate to pick up documentation so he can get married to his Turkish fiance, and the guy goes missing. And now there's a few people that are upping, a general direction as to what had happened and where and who might be involved. You guys probably heard about that, right? What I find ludicrous about this ad, that there were a few, as of maybe 4, women that could testify because of what they saw. And so they went to interview the women. Now I ask myself, you would go interview a woman that lives in Saudi Arabia because she would have been a witness to some particular event, and you expect what? She might have her head cut off because you're stopping and talking to her with a mic. You can't do that. You just can't do that. So what would whoever wrote this in a magazine, this knowledge, would they not stop to think they don't have any rights Sophia the robot has civilian rights. The first, they can't say female. I'm talking about a mockery. What a mockery to the women there in that country. Okay? A created computer that has the face of a woman, the body of a woman, no soul, and it's a computer, a robot. They give her, that represents a woman because she's not a woman, she's a computer, she's a robot. They give her citizenship, and the women there that are women are entitled to that citizenship. There couldn't be any worse. Any worse. I mean, I saw in a dream that the land was divided. They showed me the sand, and they showed me the sand dunes. And all of a sudden, I saw them sinking, and I was going, wow, what's happening? What's happening to Arabia? What's happening? They're sinking. And I was shown that one part of it was really, really old thought process. The other part of it was modern day banking processed and regarding beliefs and religions and what would be acceptable, maybe changing principles, maybe changing morals. Don't know, but there is somewhat of a difference. I'm going to say that it let up a little bit, but when it did, it caught itself. And then the women got double the punishment for breathing, for being a woman, for having two eyes, a mouth, a heartbeat, a nose, a thought. Now, truthfully, this to me, I was laughing. I didn't mean to get this deep about it. But I was just thinking about it, and I wanted to bring it to somebody's attention that we are actually functioning this way. And I cannot believe that in this time and age that something so old could still play its way without an out, without there being an out. The sin is so bad. The sin is so bad, so bad. You know, the part that is pulled in a lost direction, when it's bad, it's really bad. I mean, that's enough. I asked God, I really wanted to get ill, and I asked God to please, I had to look away. I really had to look away for a long period, and just as well, that's something else we all need to wake up to and have a voice and not be scared to be kicked out of certain areas of existence, and someone to say to you, it's not valuable enough what you want to speak of or share or note. So I heard of all these things today. Yes, and the other was, what is happening in northern China? What is going on there? Seriously. I get it that their numbers, criminal numbers, violent numbers, it's a excuse me, statistic pertaining to crime. They have it because of this social credit program that they've got, and that is through face recognition. They just, the computer maps you out instantly, just like that. So there was a couple that were Christians. I mean by couple, something like 750,000, 700,000, and it because a lot of it was um, against what they believed in. They didn't have a choice as to whether they wanted to go along with this or they didn't go along with this. It was now built in, so it's automatic. It's a part of everyday life now, and they would have had to come around. Well, they never did. They never came around. Yeah. So, I think maybe as we are searching for, I can't say the right answer, because who am I to say what is right for somebody else? I know what's right for me, but I can't say what's right for somebody else. I mean, unless, of course, my children, my grandchildren, God bless my parents, neither one of them are here any longer. Them, two rotten brats for siblings that I just don't have any time for, you know, they say ignorance is bliss. Yeah, that's the, I mean, God forgive me for that, but you know, that's how it is. I like intelligence. I like intelligent brains. And they're both very intelligent in their own way. They're actually very intelligent. Just when it comes to, I guess I'm the one that's a little more social. I believe in family, and they get stuck on social, and that's where myself and my siblings and I crash. Yes, that's that's what it's like. That's how it is. Okay, so anyway, I don't know how I got onto that. Um, um, when it comes to this whole feely, and we're trying to figure out where we're at and what's going to happen next and what's going to happen tomorrow, um, I have to say, hey, look, you know what? We are just about there. And words are really important. Doesn't matter who the words come from as much as the words. And in your life, what are the words that surround you? Now, ask yourself, are you ready to hear the truth? Is that what you really want? And will that really set you free? Yeah. Yeah. In fact, um, um, the first 5 people that leave a comment, um, um, I was going to say give you a mini reading, um, uh, but where I come from is more from the heavens. I guess that's the only way I could put it, you know, and that's because it was one of the gifts that were awoken in me, and well, obviously, so yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's interact. Okay, so that was my day. That was my day. I took in all this information and I thought, wow, we're really living in such trying times where, we constantly ask ourselves, uh, are we where we're supposed to be? And if we are where we're supposed to be, what shall we make out of it? And that's where I said, okay, the first five people, because um, um, uh, I was born with a gift. So, okay, I will wrap it up, leave it from there. There's a bunch of interesting stuff. I know I fell off of one sentence. I just kind of went boom. I sometimes can't help myself. I am constantly uh, feeling and connected. Uh, and it's so natural to me that um, I sometimes have to remind myself it's not like that for everybody. I sometimes forget that. So, anyway, okay, I'm going to wrap it up. I bid you an adieu. Think about this. And oh, by and by, I'm really serious about this learnt knowledge regarding Hillary Clinton. And I thought, wow, that really makes sense when you break down the symptoms. So you can obviously read them. Yeah, rather than the kuru. Or maybe the doctor was planted there, because the thought is just too horrid. It's just wrong. We need to shine a light in that area, and let's do it. You know, chant it, think it, sing it, say it. Yeah, yeah. Let's just, all you gotta say is I put light in that area. You know, and hey, listen, the more we do that, the better it is for us. And the reason I'm saying that is right now, okay, there is, or what feels to be, a restriction, something not right. Our faith is keeping us, yes, intact, definitely, definitely. But for non believers and people of a more scientific or political, um, um, they might question it. They might question it. And what I'm talking about is understanding where God is, where you are. Is there a problem, between the connection, as if on phones or technology, does there seem to be some type of disconnect or silent spot that you feel? And you can also write that down. You can comment on that. If you have a question, or you're not finding the resolution that you need, that where you know, can put your head down on the pillow and your arms under your head and call it a day and say, it was a good day. We're entitled to that. but that's lost somewhere. And where I think that comes in is because emotionally we disconnect because we're all too fearful to remain connected. And that's where love dies. And people get this attitude of, oh, well, next. I'm not going to die from a broken heart. I'll get over it. And that in itself takes away from the sanctuary of a marriage. Yes, the bliss, the beauty, the love. hmm Okay, well, I said I was going to go, so I'm going to go. I'll end it on the love. If you like it, that'd be awesome if you gave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share, and share. You can also subscribe. It's not going to hurt. And until next time, I have to say, ciao, amore. Ciao, ciao.